today it is the members only stream. Jim, going. Left. All right. I'm gonna make this one a little bit different today. What's going on? I'm changing brand. What's going on? General. So today, the members only stream, I want to talk about a couple things that came in from the actual club. And so I'm going to talk about prioritizing time and show you behind the scenes stuff that I'm using, organizing ideas into a system. And basically the formula is like, what's your problem? What can you do to solve it? Force yourself to do it. I'll show you exactly, because I'm going to show you a new problem that I'm having and I'll get to it. But today's drawing prompt of the day, fresh one, is March of the Penguins. So I'm just going to sketch that out real quick. I actually was working already this morning, so this isn't the first drawing that I've done today. I'm a little bit behind. We'll talk about my day job a little bit. Not that I'm behind. I'm usually just like right on top of it. So March of the Penguins, band March of the Penguins. Sorry. I wanted to kind of change that up a little bit. Many of the drawing club members said that they wouldn't make the live stream, so this will be on replay for them. So, but don't sweat being here live. But if you're like Jim and Steph, then you're hardcore and you're showing up for all the lives. Thanks for showing up. And, but no sweat if you can't. I'm getting like really like messages going like, man, I'm really sorry I haven't made it to any of your lives. And I'm like, dude, I really don't care if it's 2 people, 1 person, 0 people. I'm doing it pretty much for me. I'm going to go ahead and just start drawing what I kind of think of band march of the Penguins. So I'm just going to draw some shape here. Like a horn. I don't know. I'm just going to make it up as a tuba and a drum. Right. I think. I don't know. I'm going to figure that out as I talk through this. But yeah, members, please don't sweat showing up here. You're busy. I get it. I'll be linking to this video afterwards. Just consider it a nice little added value, let's say. So yeah, I'm just going to draw 3 penguins. Kind of draw them along. And that one's going to be blowing a horn. Kind of put that in my 3 ups. Oh, 1 second. I always forget to do the auto lock off. Auto lock. Ever. Should be business. Sorry. Go. Zoom in a little bit. Not that. Yeah, so please, if you're watching this in replay, don't sweat. Don't sweat. So band march of the Penguins, I'm gonna just go ahead and draw. I'm not even gonna look at reference. I'm gonna kind of draw some penguins. March here. Yeah, so behind the scenes at my work, I've been, as you know, I've been working on a daily comic strip. So we've just been like what I call running and gunning. And honestly, I have been working. I don't feel stressed out at all. Emily says I have a delusional relationship with time, and She's probably correct. She is correct. But never mind. Never mind any of that. All right, so for a penguin, I'm going to draw the first guy first. I want to start sketching black. This morning and red a little bit. Wedge terrain. I try to challenge myself with these to try to get simple and not like overthink anatomy, like just have fun shapes like that and stuff. Yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm behind, but I'm still working on like a Sunday comic for tomorrow. We've been doing that, so I've been working almost nonstop on the comic strip because we took no time to get ahead. So this week we're taking some time. I'm going to pause the daily updates on the daily comic strip and work on just Sundays because we've got some other opportunities to get some different things going. I can really talk too much about it, but I knew from the get-go we're going to need to be ahead, guys. Like we're going to need to be way more ahead than we are. So this week I'm just going to be focusing on nothing but Sundays, the big Sunday comics for a week, and try to get like 4 or 5 of them done. And that should put me a little more ahead. Why is he blowing this horn? I don't really know. It's just trumpet. It's a mind trumpet. Right. And that kind of leads me to the topic of prioritizing time. And I'm going to jump in and show. I'm going to try and do this sketch real quick. A hat here. Yeah, so I'm actually probably going to message the team the Sunday that I'm working on for tomorrow. I don't want to rush it. I'm going out of town tomorrow to visit the Billy Ireland Museum in Columbus, Ohio. That's got a lot of original art from like some of my favorite cartoonists, like Bill Kenneth. We're actually going to see the Beaches in concert out in Columbus, but Allie was like, hey, why don't we get there early? Go to the Billy Ireland Museum. I've never been there. I've been trying to work on when I'm doing art, like simplifying it like this. When I show people that can't draw, don't think they can draw. Man, I know there's a tuba downstairs. I'm gonna go ahead and draw this. How I see it in mind. What I was saying. Anyways, this peak here, now that I said, like, how is he blowing that? There's that weird simple shape. Not overthinking the anatomy. Trying not to draw the penguin to be friends. But I'm learning to draw the characters so much now that they just kind of, that's the character that comes out. So yeah, even with the web feed, I'm just kind of doing a on web feed shape. It's good enough. I really kind of want to get to talking about the other stuff too. Steph said she used the hand tips from the video yesterday to help with drawing. Yeah, it's interesting, just these little things that you learn, and I don't think to say them out loud until I'm actually doing something like this. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll tell you about, I don't know what penguin horn. Maybe that one that will pin up on some users. Yeah, so as I've been working nonstop, it's basically, you can replace it with, it's just a job, just a different type of job, but it's still a lot of work, and I'm working nonstop. I don't want to even add up the hours because it doesn't feel like work, but it could be like any job was. I was like that at Spread Shop too. There were days where I was traveling and just working nonstop on Spread Shop stuff, being on after hours calls, and this isn't as stressful for me. This feels a lot of fun, but I'm like, damn, I wish we were more ahead. So now this week, Gary was like, hey, why don't we take spring break? How many Sundays can you do in 1 week? And I'm like, I think like 4. And he's like, great, let's do spring break. And I'm like, okay, awesome. But the boss is like, let's take the time and do it. Because we were really enthusiastic about launching that comic, straight up. And now it's nice to not to take it easy, but to go, okay, cool, now we're going to focus and get ahead. And I might actually message the team now that I'm thinking about it. I'll show you the comic I'm working on here too. Behind the scenes. I might message them and just say like, hey, what if we already announced the spring break today, instead of rushing and spending my majority of Saturday drawing that Sunday, which I'm probably going to do anyways, and then rush it out tomorrow. Why don't we make it for next Saturday or next Sunday? And that'll make me feel even more ahead. I'm just going to call that audible for ourselves. Let's just this guy more of a hell yeah sort of thing. I love penguins, actually. Weird little creatures. Aren't they like those ones with like crazy yeah, anyways. I want to add some more value to the club, talk about that. And this week, deciding to even do these live streams was forcing myself, just I got to start showing up. I wasn't feeling good about it. I know that everybody's chill in the club and you get the daily drawing prompts, but I was like, man, I really slacked off on content for Draw or Die brand, just reels and stuff. So I did a couple reels this week, and I did these live streams. These live streams felt really good. I'll be honest that some mornings I was like, oh man, I wish I could just jump right to the comic strip. But by the time I got the live stream done, I felt really good about it. And then, the bonuses of it's helping the channel a little bit. Oh boy, what's going on there with this? A little bit more down. It's interesting. But yeah, the live streams have been fun. Next week I have because there's been a lot of people that said can you do evening streams like we used to do. So next week, I think what we're doing, and let me just pull it up real quick. I'll pull up the schedule for next week. I already messed this schedule up, but as soon as Photoshop opens, that would be fantastic. Let's see. Share the schedule with you for next week. I'm working on it. Okay. Actually, I don't want to confuse anybody before I show that. 1 second. Let's check my calendar, make sure it's right. Tuesday at 7 is... Okay. You know what? Maybe it'll still work. I'm on a podcast on Tuesday night, but anyways, I want to copy this schedule in real quick. And don't forget, I'm going to be talking about these things in a second. I want to show you. I want to show you some behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing for myself. Maybe it inspires you, and hopefully, I'll put the timestamps in here too for like club members that don't want you to sit here and watch me yammer. Get it? I wouldn't do it. But there's going to be some value here. So, okay. Now let's see if it makes sense. Let me paste it in here. That'd be great. Come on. No. Really? One moment. I'm trying to paste it in a live stream. Copy. Unbelievable. Oh, I can just do this. There we go. So I'll move my little head. So on Monday, we'll switch to 8 p.m. streams this week. Basically, that's the news. Tuesday, I'm on a podcast at 7, so I'm going to definitely wrap that up. Just be right on to the 8 p.m. stream. So, yeah, basically on next week, we're going to try 8 p.m. nighttime streams. I still want to do the 7 a.m.s, but I might just alternate it. I want to see if enough of the other members come on at 8. That's cool. Got a lot of messages about that this week. And then Saturday, we'll be back again for a 12 p.m. stream. So that's that. Complicated the process here. Got way too much time on that. Yeah, so there's my band march of the Penguins. Not bad, not the best, but it's a start. Right? Yeah, and I'll show you real quick the comic that I'm working on. I might go live on the YouTube channel, doing vertical streaming to test that because it's a new feature. I might go live in a little bit, like maybe as soon as the stream's over, I'll get back on and work on this comic live. But it's like a school teacher. Get out of here. It's like a befriend school teacher, parent teacher thing. And teachers making the parent feel bad. And so I would have to do all of this by tomorrow. Turn off the Wi-Fi real quick. Yeah, I'd have to do all of this by tomorrow. I could do it, and I probably will still have it done, but it's quite a bit of work to do. So that's what we'll lead into the next topic here. Is prioritizing time. So we've talked about it before, and I'm just going to jump right into showing you exactly how I would prioritize my time. Zoom around a little bit on my, and I'm having a problem with talking about it. Minor problem. I'll talk about how I'm going to use this system to fix it. So, prioritizing your time. this? How do I turn on the Miro? Yes? Miro? Great. Oh, technology. So behind the scenes, I've been working on this system, and it's a system of all my systems because I love to create frameworks. So you guys are familiar with the Creator Compass, right? Because I launched that out. Drawing Club, if you don't know what that is, let me know and I can send you a link to that. But kind of like figuring out your pillars, and then there's the strategic narrative thing, which is like your content. If you're making content for yourself or anything really, it doesn't have to be like social content. It could just be like figuring out yourself. And then there's a strategy board. Like this is a copy of the one that we're using for friends that I made. I'll kind of walk through that a little bit. But this is a whole system that I'm creating, and Allie's like, you need to like clean this up, like draw this better, make it look more professional. But basically, this is a whole system of figuring your shit out. And the building blocks part, like the time blocking, is one of the main things. So right now, I'm having a problem again, where I've fallen into having like way more. I've got the Miro board. I've got post-it notes all over. Like my desk is just. I'm going to show you on the other camera here. Let's go to screen. It's just like there's clutter over there. There's clutter over here. Like I just have there's post-it notes that I'm just randomly putting everywhere. Underneath this, there's probably like more junk, more notes. I'm not feeling great about that. But I'm in the zone where I'm like, I'm just running and gunning. Like I said, I'm working, nonstop, right? So I've identified that as a problem. And one of the things that I'm going to do about it would be to, over here, was to jump back to my system. So, and I call this like Creator Core. Like that's what I'm calling it. Secretly, a few members have gone through it, like Maddie Hertz went through it, or Maddie Comics, I mean. Why did I call her Maddie Hertz? I'll talk about that in a second. Maddie went through it. Sarah without an H went through it. And I might have talked about this a little bit, but I need to get back to this core of figuring my stuff out. So I'm going to report back on my problems next members only stream. And for now, I'm going to say this is my system that I need to do because I got too many paper notes all over my page. I'm going to allow myself, and this is something that you can do. So allow yourself one active small paper notebook. I've got like 5 going on, which is just ridiculous. It could be a field notes or a sketchbook or whatever. And then I need to get back to picking one of each of these things. So for my quick notes, I'm going to use my Things app on my phone. Things app. I'm going to use Miro for this. This is what I'm using right now. Miro for my vision board. I'm going to show you a little bit more about the vision board. And then for the calendar, it's a mix. It's basically my Apple/Google calendar. Okay. Google Calendar. And those are the 3 stacks I'm going to stick with. Right now, it's a mess. I'm just running and gunning, drawing comics like crazy, and it's not great. So this whole system is based on where is it? Let me zoom out. This whole system here is based on my old creator. Oh, really? Nope. Well, I can't show you that right now. I'm going to restart Miro real quick because I won't know I should. See what happens. I have a lot of Miro boards. So I have the creator board there, and there was an older one. This is kind of the down and dirty thing, but it's based on Ben Franklin's schedule for his day. Make it 5. I get up at 5, and then those are all of your hours of the day. right? Um, it's inspired by that. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now, but it gets out of control. It gets a little out of control. So back to this time blocking thing. Those are the 3 tools I'm going to use throughout the week. I'm going to use them for everything. That means if I'm making a note about cleaning my desk, the things I need to do, I can kind of show you a little bit, actually. Oh, move myself out of the way. So I've got Things app. There's like a whole bunch of things on here, but clean the office, time chunks, any notes that come up. I'll show you something else I do for like Be Friends. Whenever I'm out and I'm coming up with an idea on the go, I just go ahead and, write the note in there, and then I'll transfer it over to the board. So that I capture the idea really fast in this board, and then I'll transfer my ideas back. That's kind of the idea there. But sticking to this idea of that, then we got to look at how many hours we have in the day. And mine's really skewed because I'm working way more than 40 hours. If you look at creator blocks here, it's like this chunk in the middle is your 40-hour work week. And then those are the rest of the hours that you have based on the 5 a.m. If you're not waking up at 5 a.m., cool. But you can see here, I can just go through and be like, scheduling my blocks. And this is the most important thing I want to get across in today's talk is the hour and a half, the 90 minutes is way more important than like blocking an hour, because it takes you about 20 minutes to really get warmed up in this. So my main problem right now is, I'm going to write it down. My desk is a mess. Office, actually. Oh, what happened? Just have a hotkey somewhere on the office keyboard. The desk is a mess. Clean office. Because I keep saying to myself, I don't have time. I'm busy working. Like, I don't have time to block out an hour and a half to do it. I'm behind on deadlines, all that stuff. But what I need to do is I need to take that 90-minute block and actually put it into my calendar. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say to myself, this desk area, I'm going to set a time where it's 90 minutes, and I'm just going to work on nothing but cleaning that crap out, right? Every time I'm working on these live streams that I've been doing about 90 minutes on a live stream. I might stretch it into 2 hours. These streams are only like 30 minutes. Like 2 minutes left on this stream. Sorry, guys. I'll stay through and kind of show you behind the scenes. But it's just like, I don't think you need to put your actual schedule in here, but I want to show you what Sarah did on her Miro board. And if you're interested in this system, I'm still building it out. But if you're interested in using it, I don't want to get too far into like she's got hers way filled out. She did a great job. We were doing like weekly calls and stuff. I was just curious to see how it would work. And she actually went into this calendar and was like, walk dogs, chill, groceries, schedule, karate, which is, Sarah, that's amazing. Eat, creator block, DJ call. Like, she put her whole entire week in this, and then she transferred this over to a real calendar. But like, I found for artists, for myself, looking at your calendar creatively like this is a key. Because then she started figuring out like, okay, this is my next week, and these are all the things I need to do for my family and for myself. It's going to be different for everybody. But she really blocked that out. And what that allowed her to do was find time to work on her comic strip. And then she started throwing ideas for her comic ideas in this board. What else? We moved it right into a calendar. So she started doing the calendar, like what she's going to do that day on this virtual calendar. It looks a little messy because it just kind of is by nature. I see she's kind of dropped off on using it, but she was tracking things on it, like her impressions on LinkedIn, like just this holistic view of everything that you're doing in your calendar really makes a difference. I'll show you really quickly what I said earlier about the V-Friends, and how I capture those ideas. And then by the way, you can see like I have all of my comics so far in this Miro board. This is just stuff I wouldn't show outside of members only, behind the scenes stuff. Nothing secret I'm putting in here, but like our board is pretty much filled with ideas from the team, from Gary, myself. They start off in a prioritization of like the topics that we're working on, and they funnel down into Gary's points of view, and then this is set up for his brand, like the dirt, like the work, and then we go down into the calendar. We start blocking out the calendar. So you can see here, this was the finished calendars for January. And I would actually put the 4-panel script. So I'm writing scripts, or at least the concepts for the 4-panel strips in the calendar. So just take like something like those 4 blocks, I move it over, and then I just start writing it out. We approve it, like okay, which ones are coming up next. It's a machine. Like I've built a machine for this stuff. So then we're getting into next week will be the break week, so that I can work on the Sundays ahead, right? Yeah, like if I take those notes from the app and I just go like zoo idea, animals bred in zoos don't survive in the wild. And it's almost like being a helicopter parent, and then when you send your kids out into the real world, they get eaten by a lion. So anyways, this is kind of a behind the scenes of staying pretty organized. That's how I write my Sunday comic strips, how to just the concepts. And there's a lot you can do. Like there's a lot of organization stuff that I can do, but what I'm going to do is use this system that I created for myself for this week and get back to my own function so that I can clean my office. Number one, clean the office this week and get rid of the clutter on my desk. It should be that I'm not writing notes everywhere. If I feel the need to write the note, I should go directly into that. What else? So that's how I organize my ideas. That's how I'm going to prioritize my time. And this is the basic formula, right? For anything. Like, what's your problem? What's your problem? Why is my face? There we go. Now you can see me. It doesn't matter. Here I am. What's your problem? What can you really do to solve it? But my problem is desk mess, for real. Makes me feel really messy. Force yourself to do it. And it's those 90-minute blocks. Don't just be like, I'm just gonna tidy up for 15 minutes. Like, 90 minutes, attack this thing, right? And then before you know it, you might be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna keep going. It's just the same thing with drawing too. So maybe try to find something this week that you've been putting off. And this is the thing that I'll report on next week and see if I failed or not in my week. So I need to not be a robot and not constantly be working nonstop. I need to work on scheduling better and marching on. Hopefully this was a little bit more added value than just the daily drawing stream and just a little look behind the scenes of what's going on. And, it's busy. And by the way, it's hard. Like what I'm doing is not easy, and I understand that. Like I don't expect other artists to launch live streams and comics and do all this crazy shit. But all I want you to do is just draw more, whether that's whatever. Jim, Steph, you guys are all doing it. There's a lot of members in the club though who are joining, and I'll say this is like, I'm pointed directly at you. I'm talking about you, people in the club who message me and say, and it's not just one of you, there's probably 6 or 7 of you that have sent me the same exact message, and it's that, hey, I joined up. I still don't have time to work on my stuff, but I love getting your emails. I'll get to the prompts, or I'll draw more in the future, but it's just nice to like whatever. And then they're spending time just watching videos on YouTube or procrastinating with other stuff, and they're not really getting to it. So a couple of, I'm not going to call people out, but like one of the guys sent me a message, or I think it might be a girl. A little bit. It could go either way. Anyways, a member sent me a message there and said, they wanted to do a comic for a really long time, like a graphic novel. And I'm like, oh man, I've heard this before. You want to do this big graphic novel and then you just don't start it. So like, forget that. Just start drawing small sketches. Take a little 10 minutes a day, because if like you don't start something, like, right? But you don't have to be working on like an epic project either. So don't get yourself down. But don't waste too much time thinking and psyching yourself up, because then you'll psych yourself out. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's good for today, for this stream. There wasn't a whole lot of like drawing tips. I don't feel like I need to, unless you want an active drawing tip or you have a suggestion in the chat, then I would do it. But otherwise, I'm just going to kind of riff on an idea, thoughts for the week. That's what's going to be in the newsletter too. Tomorrow will be, I'm still kind of thinking about how to say that, is that, last week was about showing up. So I forced myself to show up for myself and for you. And then I want to talk about, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to show up. You wake up and you're thinking, I would rather be doing this thing, and I've committed to this live stream. And like, it's not easy to do something daily. But drawing something small on a Post-it note in a sketchbook or something like that doesn't have to be hard. You just have to kind of reframe your perspective a little bit. But I do not expect anybody to burn themselves out and work tooth and nail like me. If it's inspiring to you, then that's cool. But I want to definitely focus on the happiness part. This is what makes me happy. I like to draw. I like to be encouraging. I like to, I could do this stuff nonstop. I am Mr. Daily Comics. Like, I would talk about this shit left and right. Hey, Larry. See you. Late comer. You can rewind and watch all the stuff that I just went through, but really, again, Steph, like you said, this club makes me happy. That's great to hear. That's it. Like, that's the whole reason that we're here doing this. Like, Allie hasn't been on the camera much or whatever. She'll be back soon, I'm sure. Like, she's like, I'm not gonna say, like, she's packing orders and stuff. Like, people like you. It's fine. Like, we're a duo or whatever. She's like, I'm not gonna join your drawing stream. I don't draw. You want to talk about organization or like business side of things, she can help. But she's like, all right, I'm not do that right now. She's gonna find a job, and but she's busy packing orders, and like there's a lot of stuff she's doing behind the scenes. Yeah. So I'm kind of formulating. I'm gonna go walk the dog and formulate the newsletter for tomorrow and write that up, and then get to work on the comic strips that I'm working on. So, and maybe today will be the day, even though we're leaving town tomorrow for the beaches. The beach is banned, not like a beach. Maybe we'll straighten up this freaking desk. It's like, man, I cannot work. I look around and I'm like, I don't even want to look at it. It's so messy. And like, some guru somewhere said, like, your place where you spend the most time is a reflection of your brain, what's going on in your mind. And I'm like, ooh, I look around and I'm like, man, it is quite cluttered back there. And I got a lot of stuff. I just kind of hit the ground running with this comic, and I've gone nonstop. I worked probably harder than I've ever worked, but it's been so awesome. Like, I'm not tired. I'm like, I want to do more, So, so thanks for supporting the club and supporting each other and drawing and posting in the Discord. And believe me, there's people that are watching your drawings in that Discord, and they're afraid to post in the Discord because they think their drawings suck. They've told me, they're like, I just don't want to draw. I don't want to post because I don't feel like my drawings are good enough. I'm like, man, like if you would just post, you'd get some encouraging, like it's just feel like we don't want to be delusional. Someone's art might be not great. We're not going to be like, that's trash. Like we don't do that. So I think people would draw more. Like they would just get into that vibe. Some people just don't want to use Discord as well, but enough cookies. So, anyways, all right, cool. I've talked enough. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. And again, where's the schedule? I'm going to try to stick to this schedule, even though Tuesday might be a little bit hairy. I might schedule that for 8:30 on the final stream, so I can go from that podcast that I'm on to that. But that's the schedule for all week. I like being able to zoom this around a little bit. My messy desk, all these post-it notes, this just random. Oh my god, this area here is the worst. Freaking hate it. And then down there's like a random clutter thing happening. I don't even. All right. Anyways, that's what I'll be working on this week behind the scenes. And hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you on Monday. Bye.